Hello and welcome back to Tuesday's vlog. As you know, I've just been away on in the caravan over the weekend. Just got back yesterday afternoon. Both me and Holly have been absolutely ill with hay fever. I try to not take the tablets and the sprays because I'm usually against it. I try to fight my way through it for some weird reason, but I've succumbed to it. Yesterday I had to take one of the tablets, and this morning I have as well. I'm actually not too bad now. I'm back here, but as you've seen where that site is, you're basically in the middle of a farm with dust and everything, in the middle of a field with trees and grass pollen. It's been horrendous. So I'm back at work, but I feel like I've got a hangover, to be quite honest. And my chest, I can hardly breathe. So yeah, I'm back. I'm just going to quickly go through this one because it's going away in a minute. And we've got another one on outside, which I've got some interesting information. I have got my project reveal, which I'm going to try and upload maybe tonight. Today's Tuesday or Wednesday, and I'll have this uploaded as a big week-long vlog on some point over the weekend. So, what we got in the day. This I remember when this was brand new. It's an old fella across the road from where my grandma lives. I remember, this makes me feel old now. I remember him getting this car practically new, and it's not new anymore, far from new. And not the most desirable of engines, a 3-cylinder Vauxhall. If you just want a little car to go back and forth to the shops, it's perfectly fine. But I certainly wouldn't want to be doing loads of miles in one of these. They're very, very underpowered. They were bad enough in the smaller Corsa Bs, then the Cs, but these are the Ds, and these are a much bigger, heavier car, and they do tend to struggle a bit in these. But if it's just a daily runner you want, who cares? It starts, it stops, and it drives. Nothing really interesting on this. It's going in for 4 tyres because they're perished. There's not a great deal to speak about, so I'll get on to the other car. In fact, there is something I'll show you quickly because I need to do it anyway. It needs a service light reset. So with these Vauxhalls, switch the ignition on with the wrong hand, and it says INSP. You just simply stick your foot on the foot brake, take the ignition to the first click, which is there. You press that and it'll light up, which it does. I can't show you this. I'm going to have to just quickly pause it. You hold that in and switch the ignition on at the same time. As you can see, it comes on, it flashes whilst holding the foot brake on. And there it goes to the dashes. Let go, foot brake off, ignition off, ignition back on, and it's not there. But remember what else I've told you with these Vauxhall? INSP2 means you've got a bulb out, and the other ones mean other things, like to do with the diesels, the water filters and stuff on the fuel filters, like the water catch tanks. So there you go. There's the service light reset on that. Just turn them fans off, ignition off. So there you go. I'm just going to clamber my way out of this car, and I'm going to bring this other vehicle in now. I'm going to stop the video and then restart it because I've got a few things to do in between. We'll get this one in. A lot of the used guys with their L200s may or may not like this because it's one of the competitors and it's a new one as well. So I'll get this sorted now and we'll go through what we're doing. Well, I'll show you the other job we've got in. We've got we're pretty much just out of warranty fold pickup in. Nissan Navara, also known as the Mercedes X-Class, I believe. Basically, the Mercedes pickup truck is one of these. So what this is in for the day is a full service. Oil and filter, air filter, fuel filter, pollen filter, a full check over underneath. I'll quickly open the bonnet. Not a great deal to see. Fuel filter's alright to get to, thankfully. I'm just going to show you. Of course, this thing's been in at the main dealers. Let's see if there's any names. There we go, Bristol Street Motors. The car's saying it, not me, it's written on the number plate. And first job I'm just about to start, because it's not on the lift, it's easier, is the pollen filter. I'll show you on the pollen filter anyways. Some interesting stuff I'm going to show you in a minute on the filters. Nissan Group, and as you can see on it written, Valio. See Valio there? So go out and get a Valio filter, probably a third of the price. But this is still under a warranty because these got a 5-year warranty. But just come to do the pollen filter, and this has been in main dealers. And obviously, as you can see there, the pollen filter door catch at this side, and that one there snapped off and got tape on. Now, To be honest, like so us, if we generally damage something like this, I would probably ring the customer and let them know that it's been damaged and agree some kind of a deal on getting like a new door. But main dealers, they've got probably these lying on the shelf. It should have been replaced. So there you go. There's your quality of going to main dealers. They'll break something on a car cylinder warranty and just used gaffer tape. Well, not even gaffer tape, electrical tape to put it back on. So that's not really good. But anyways, we're going to get that done. As you can see, that's nice and easy. I'm going to pop that into place, but I'm just going to show you something. I mean, I'll show you around it, actually, I suppose. A lot of you will be interested in the L200 guys. I think they're quite nice interior. You've got, this is an automatic. You've got obviously your controls there. All electronic, 4-wheel high, 4-wheel low. Hill descent. I'm not seeing no lock and diffs whatsoever. That's rather disappointing. In fact, that is very disappointing for one of these. I thought it would have a centre lock and diff, but this doesn't even have that. The L200 had a centre lock and diff, just 2-wheel, 4-wheel high and 4-wheel low, and hill descent. Unless there's some buttons at the other side, that's really disappointing to see a little Suzuki Vitara gets lock and diffs. This hasn't even got a centre lock and diff. For a pickup, you would expect that it would. I could be wrong. There might be a button here somewhere, but I'm not seeing one. Nope. None. Oh well. So it's a nice enough spec one as well. It's obviously the full leather, electric seats, cruise control, speed limiter, sat nav, obviously Bluetooth, climate control, heated seats, obviously all the auxiliary inputs. But yeah, the dashboard's nice as well. 18,000 mile there. But yeah, I'm a bit disappointed there with no lock and diffs. Front and rear electric windows, electric folding mirrors. You've got your auto dip dim mirror, automatic lights and wipers. Has this got the camera package? Yeah, this has got the 360 package, so you've got cameras underneath the mirrors. There'll probably be a camera underneath the badge, is there? Maybe? There might be one somewhere hidden yet there. So you've got the camera. It's got the vision package on it, which is a really nice thing Nissan do. So you've got like a 360 degree vision on these when you're driving. Again, the other camera there. What I tend to do is part of the service and I just give them a bit of a clean. Better than that with some glass cleaner. And there'll be one at the back, obviously. Yeah, naturally, which is your reversing camera. So that's quite nice to have your 360 degree view around. Truckman, a bit funny for me to give any kind of word about Truckman. I try not to speak about them after my L200, but I must admit this canopy, whatever it is, I'm not keen of this sticking out a mile, unless this is meant to have a spoiler. I suppose it's an alright T-shelf of some kind, but I do like with this one, with the remote locking, it actually operates this as well, which I hated with my L200. So this is electronic, but I must admit, it's similar to the one I had in my L200, but again, the quality's just, can you see that crack in there? Can you see the actual whole paint and everything starting to crack? There. Don't know how well that's showing up on the camera, but it's exactly the same. It's not cracking there, but all of this, when you look just how bad it was, is any of this starting to come away or crack like mine did? Look at the quality of that though. That was done in a factory as well. Big gap there, sealer hanging out there and there. Is the frame starting to crack like mine was? Yes, there you go. Frame starting to, well, it's not the frame, it's like the plastic cladding, but it shouldn't be like that. This is what used to happen to mine. But I do like that. I think this must have been fitted as an option from Nissan. I do like having that, where you can just put tools on it, put ladders in and they'll rest, or put just a can of pop. But there you go, there's your 5-year, 100,000 mile Nissan warranty. I suppose if you're buying it new and you just want it as a working vehicle, you couldn't really ask for any more, could you? 5 years, 100,000 mile, that's spot on, that is. But yeah, so again, pretty much just like an L200 in the back of there. I do like those windows better than, I do just in general, like this Truckman canopy more than mine, but as you can see, it's the remote locking type. So this, when you use the key, locks, as well as that does as well. Where with mine on the L200, this didn't even have a lock on from factory on the Series 5, so that wouldn't lock at all. And the only thing that did lock was this, which was rubbish, and you had to constantly do it manual, and at the same time, that never locked anyway, so with a hard enough pull on that, you could force the bottom bit down and not the top. So yeah, definitely a better design on the back end than the L200. But as a car-wise, the vehicle-wise, not really. I'm not that keen. See the usual rust starting. But these, you see, have they got a live rear axle? I think they have. We'll have a look when it's up on the lift. Drop links there. Have a look at the back seats. It'll just be exactly the same. In fact, now it's got more, because the L200, I don't believe, had rear ventilation. This has. And it's just got a fixed window as well, which doesn't open, which is rather annoying because the canopy has. I did like on the older ones where you had a window here. But yeah, them seats seem a lot more comfy, I must admit, than the L200. But I can give this car all its praise anyway like that. But where my downfall comes in now, saying that, it can't be much worse than the old Nissan engine that they used. But this is just all Renault on here, and I'll show you for why. I'll go and I'll show you on the filters. The proof will be there. I do like the Navara. I would be tempted to have one, not with my own money, it's a company vehicle or something, definitely, but with my own money, the fact that it's got a Renault engine in, not dissing Renault, because you know we actually use them, they're not bad, but it's a Nissan, it shouldn't have, especially a commercial vehicle. So we'll go over to the genuine Renault, it's in my head, genuine Nissan filter, man, right there, man filter, same as those and everything else that we use. So God knows how much more we're paying for this. So there's your air filter. And notice what Nissan's doing now. I assume in Japan that Datsun must be back. So you've got your Infiniti Nissan and Datsun. So Datsun's back in the house. Genuine Nissan oil, quite a lot of it. Don't know why, because as you'll see for the oil filter, genuine Nissan filter. And the filter says, as you can see, just there, Renault. That's just because it's a Renault engine. So there you go. Onto the fuel filter. It says it even clearer. Big expensive thing, this. And what do we have on here? Ready. There we go. It's just in the light there. I don't know if you can see that. Renault. So it's not too bad if you're buying the Nissan, because you know that you're getting Renault owns Nissan and that. But if you're getting the Mercedes X-Class and you think you're posh because you've got the Mercedes badge on it, just be careful, because you'll have a Renault engine in it. And you'll probably be paying more money, I would have thought, than the Nissan. So I'm going to get on now, change that pollen filter. Unfortunately, we don't have one of those covers in. I'll mention it to the customer, but I'm just going to have to re-tape it back on, and I'll come back to you when we're under the bonnet doing a few bits of the servicing. I thought I would just do a bit walk round on that one. I do believe maybe on this week's vlog, one of my family members, he's just getting a brand spanking new Hilux, weirdly, in exactly this way, a very similar colour to that. And I think he's maybe coming today or tomorrow, and he said I can do a quick walk around on that. I'm not going to do it as a separate walk around, I'll do it as part of the weekly vlog. Or should I do a review on it? Because my reviews used to get us quite a lot of views. In fact, you guys who've been watching this for a while, I know a lot of this now is my daily vlogs, and it's also me projects and me camping vlogs. I'll keep that stuff going anyways, but if you remember back when I first started doing the channel, I used to do a lot of reviews on random cars that come in. Just let us know, would you like to see more of that, or did you find it boring? Well, so the only thing is, though, I like kind of 30-minute videos. I've still got loads of them on my phone, which I haven't uploaded. It's just the way I look at it is, if you're not interested in that particular car, you're not going to watch it. So it was a bit of a funny one. But let us know, would you like to see more reviews of vehicles? Everyday kind of vehicles, like that one out there, and other random stuff I get in? Or would you not? Just let us know. But I'm going to get on with this now, and I'll get back to you once I've got it on the lift and I'm starting to do work on it. Quick update on the Navara, but I'm going to have to cut the recording short a bit because I forgot to put my phone on charge last night. So I'm going to bang it on a 5-watt charger in the office. So you'll not see us put it back together. Next time you'll see it'll be up on the lift. So, where we're at. Pollen filter done. As you can see, I think mice or something have been into this. Bits of foam and God knows what. So that's not good. The air filter, see if there's any date stamps on it. In fairness, I will say this probably wouldn't have been due to be changed. And there's no date stamps. But it's a bit ming. But to be fair, at the mileage it's on and the age, it's probably not due till now anyway. So air filter done. pollen filter done, fuel filters off. I checked that this is a self-primer, so you've got to be really careful with these. I checked it does definitely prime, so happy days. When we put the new one on, it'll prime up nicely. 2 high-pressure pipes. That is the screw at the bottom for the water sensor and that. And this is a unit here. You get the new seal on the water drainer. Always make sure you use that. And what I'm going to put on there is just a simple bit of engine oil. You don't need to go coating things in grease. Obviously, diesel isn't oil. Little bit of engine oil on that seal. You screw it into the bottom. Make sure you get it clean, nice, tight fit. And again, on these 2 points here, a little bit of silicone grease or something, just so they don't get stuck. Half the time these cars will be gone well before we ever touch these again. And I've just made a little white mark there, just to locate it. It's just a 10mm on there, and it just simply slides out. Must say, a lot of you guys might be saying there, you're giving this a hard time with the rental engine and stuff. I'm not. It's just a lot of money for buying what you class as a Japanese car or Nissan, whatever, and you're getting French stuff. If it was badged as a Renault pickup, happy days, I wouldn't have a problem. But I will say, I will 100% give this vehicle its due. It's an absolute dream to work on. Air filter, few clips, no tools even required. Happy days. Oil filter, there's a basic tray underneath, which looks an absolute doddle to remove, which I'll show you, to do the oil filter. Fuel filter, as you've seen, no faffing about with stupid screw-on inserts. I know these will probably be expensive with sensors and stuff on them, but they're a good idea because you don't have to faff with them too much. That was nice and easy. As you've seen, the pollen filter was no problem. So yeah, thumbs up to the vehicle. It's actually nice to work on, and if I don't fully know a great deal of facts about this engine, so I'm not even going to criticise it because it might be a good one. I honestly don't know. Never worked on one, don't know. But if they prove the test of time, as we all know out there, the L200s and the Hiluxes, they've certainly got a bad name for some of the engines that were in those, and the old Nissan D22s and the old Pathfinders and Navaras. They had a horrendous record for engine issues. So if this engine actually pans out to be a good one, probably an alright vehicle, I would say. But just crazy price at the minute, so that's why I got rid of mine. So yeah, I'm going to get this filter in. Just remember, if you don't know what you're doing with these and you don't know if they're self-priming, be careful, because if they don't start, you're up shit creek with it. So I'm going to get all this put back in, get the water sensor at the bottom screwed in. Always be careful with those because they're super expensive. We'll get it fired up, and then we'll get the oil changed, get a bit coating done underneath, and then that'll be it. It'll be finished. So I'll catch you soon. Well, I'll just show you underneath. Shouldn't have spoke too soon about being easy to service, because as per with Renault, there's always a surprise with oil filters. So everything else at the top's no problem, but under here is just being a bit of a joke, to be honest. I'll show you what's going on. So we hunted high and low for the filter. In the normal places we couldn't see it. You've got to take off all sorts of trim. There's the main piece like this, which runs as part of the bottom along there. And then this piece slides behind that, which comes down to this point here. We really didn't expect to have to take this much off because the filter is hidden up there, which even when you get it off, you've got to take this network of pipes off here, which I've obviously had to unbolt this to move the pipe, and then you can just get up into it to get to the filter, and then you've got to bring it out through this gap here. And that is the old one in there. I can't find any date stamps, but judging by all the nuts and bolts, I've coated this with like an aluminium grease, new stuff we're getting. So I can't see that any of this had been disturbed. I'm not going to say it definitely hasn't been changed, but I'm pretty sure that ain't been stripped down. Nothing on here looked like it had even been touched from the factory. But I can't be certain, so I'm not going to make a 100% accusation on that. So the new oil filter's in. Now we've just got to drain the oil. There's a new sump plug there, and obviously the oil to go in. I don't really need to record that, but what I will show you is underneath on these, there's absolutely no protection whatsoever. There's just that tiny little piece of plastic which goes there under the radiator. But as for the sump, the diff, all of that, there's nothing. Absolutely nothing. So we'll have a quick look underneath of this. You know, obviously there'll be like any of these kind of pickups, they will get the rot that hits them. Huge DPF, which is this unit here, which runs all the way down. That's in a bit of a precarious place. You're doing a bit of off-roading, bash into there, big money, very expensive. Bit of a silly place for that. I suppose it's more protected than some of them where they're just sitting sort of here. But yeah, I could see that being a bit of an issue. And then further along, you've got your NOx sensor, which your module is bolted to the chassis, which is just going to get all the moisture and salt and rotter bits, and these are super expensive because it's just like a normal lambda sensor you get on a petrol, but they've got a built-in, you may as well call it, it's an ACM, it's a module, and they are super expensive, and they can only be replaced with the sensors normally because they fix in and you've got to change them, so they can be quite awkward. And you've got the favourite there's your AdBlue injector, which sprays the AdBlue into the exhaust. Just so a lot of people know, it's got nothing to do with keeping the cats or DPFs clean, nothing. This stuff just gets sprayed in afterwards, and it does a chemical reaction which reduces the NOx, which actually comes out the tailpipe. So don't be misled thinking that by putting AdBlue in and having the AdBlue systems on your car that it keeps it's like an additive to keep your DPF clean. It's got nothing to do with that. So that's onto there. So all a whole load of expense on the exhaust. Further back, two sort of silencer boxes here. One there, and then obviously it leads back. But these are a bit more advanced than an L200. You haven't got your leaf springs, you've got independent sort of coil springs, you've got your anti-roll bar, and you've got this kind of sway bar as well. So they're a lot more advanced than other pickups of the time on the back end. Probably doesn't do you a great deal of good off-road, maybe not, but of kind of heavy duty, but I would imagine it makes it a lot better on-road. So looking underneath, it's the usual, you know, where you just know they're going to start to rot because they're left bare. All this here, it's pretty much a brand new truck. It's only got 16,000 mile on. Nice to see a plastic fuel tank for a change, not all this metal stuff that rots. So yeah, that's pretty much it underneath. There's not a great deal to talk about. I can't tell you if they're any better or worse because they're too new to really comment on that, you know. By the looks of it, they're probably just going to rot as much as all the rest. So there. I'm going to leave that one here today. That's pretty much all I've got to do. I put these few bits of this one in. We get the oil filter, the oil drained out, get everything sorted, get it started up. I've already done the fuel filter as you've seen. And that's it. Full service done on a new Navara. So I'll catch you on tomorrow's vlog. Bye. There was one thing I forgot to mention on this, with it being a new car. The brake pipes on all these Japanese type cars always come with the very end pieces with no protection on them, and what happens is they rust, then you've got to end off replacing a whole section of pipe for no reason. So when the cars are new is the best time to get in and coat them all, so that when the car ages, obviously, these bits of pipe don't rot. It's such a shame having to replace brake pipes for only a tiny little bit on them. So clearly we've been around all them areas which we know and coated them so that they don't go again. Little things like that, when you're paying £120 an hour at the dealerships, they should be doing, but they can't be bothered. They'd sooner wash your car for you and tell you that they've done a good job while you're sitting drinking a free coffee. So just remember that the little things are the things that count. If you're genuinely you've paid good money and you're going to own this car for many years, that'll save you a lot of money down the line, as well as obviously doing the whole chassis with wax oil or whatever kind of protection that you want, which is highly advisable on these type of vehicles. So I'll catch you on tomorrow's vlog. Thought I would add that bit in. Just thought I'd add this final bit in. It did just make me chuckle. The service history for this Navara, you know, new vehicle, 5-year warranty, 100,000 mile. Had a look at this. That's reassuring, isn't it? Nissan Bradford is in a signature. That's it. No invoice number, no type of service, nothing. So my suspicions of that nothing really ever being touched on this is probably about right. So yeah, that's reassuring if you spend all that money on this car. So obviously, that's how you do it properly. So I've wrote on full service and what it's had: oil filter, air filter, fuel filter, pollen filter, obviously the mileage, the date, and since we've gotten the parts directly from Nissan, it's Nissan Parts Quickco, the date that it was purchased, and also the invoice number so it can be referenced. I'm not being funny putting that on there, just in case anybody does, just putting phone numbers and addresses online. I've been advised I've been advised by people not to do that. If any of you guys are genuine, not computers, like robots kind of thing, trying to do scams, if you want to contact us, you know how to do that. You can either send us a message on YouTube, go to my Facebook channel, and contact us via a private message on there, and I'll determine whether it's a genuine person or a robot trying to scam us. So I wasn't being funny covering up my stamp there, but you'll understand where I'm coming from. But I just thought I'd show you that. What do you think of that? Would you be suspicious? I'm pretty suspicious. If Nissan Bradford can sign it, why did they not just stamp it? The reason why they haven't stamped it is because they probably know it hasn't been serviced and they don't want to put their official stamp on it, which holds them liable. Just thought I'd show that one, just a quick one. See you tomorrow on Wednesday's vlog. Hello and welcome back to Wednesday's vlog. And as usual, problems. This, believe it or not, used to be my old... So this is in for MOT. We've got a track rod end gone at this side. It's typical Reynolds. You can see the movement in the wheel there. Don't know if you can or not. So that's knackered. That needs done. Bottom ball joint on this side. Again, a load of play on the wheel. You can probably hear that. Not sure if you can. I probably need two hands, but that's easier said than done when you're holding a phone. Can you see that? It's really bad. I wish I could just find a better way of showing this on camera, but there's a hell of a lot of play on that. So bottom ball joint, track rod end. Need to do a few repairs on that lamp on that corner. This tyre is very badly cracked, which is going to need replaced, but these are a nightmare to get these size. But something I just wanted to show you on these cars, how great they are for size. Look at the size of that. Yeah, the recording cut off there, but yeah, Transit van size. So we've got a few bits and bobs to do. The main issue is getting even the parts nowadays. Nobody seems to stock arms or nothing like that, whatever you need. And these tyre sizes, I remember when I had it, are bad. So we're just waiting to hear back from the tyre fitting company to see if we can get them. So that's that, really. There's, apart from those bits and bobs, I'll show you once they're fitted later on. Decided to fit the condenser. Everybody said you had to take the front bumper off. Whether or not I'm missing something here, I don't know. I haven't got a clue. But all I've had to do is the grille was already to a degree broken. That just come off. The slam panel, you've just got to just slacken it off. So this is out your way. That was only the only reason I had to come off. And your condenser is out. And there it is. And on these hot days, it is nice to have it when I've got the dogs in the car and we're going out on, going up and down to Middlesbrough. So that's ideal to have. That I've just been cleaning the lights up. Obviously, this is my car. By the point this is out, I'll have done the introduction video. But as you know, this lamp here in the grille, we're looking a bit rough compared to this light. So I've just had the proper polish on them. I didn't get time last night to rub them off. So the only thing I'm looking into now is getting these seals. I'm hoping they come in the bag, or one of my pals have got some. If not, I'm going to have to get them from Honda. But they take a day or so to arrive, which is just typical of anything that you need nowadays. There just doesn't seem to be any parts for anything, never mind cars. So I'll leave that here and I'll come back to you when we've got a bit more done to the Espas, or when the parts arrive. Hello and welcome back to Thursday's vlog. Forgot what day it was there. We've got this in, a mocker. It's just busy going up on the lift. And these ones, this is the 1.6 diesel. We've just done an oil and filter on this. For once, Vauxhall have gone easy. And instead of putting oil filters into subframes, nicely drainer and oil filter, nice easy access. But if you notice that big area there where the exhaust cuts through the sump, where you would expect the timing chain to be, just there, here. So they've gone one step well and done a nice easy oil filter, but then they've gone to an absolute other extreme of being awkward and put the timing chain at the gearbox side of the engine. So one step forward, probably 10 steps back. Well, it's a Fiat engine, Fiat drive. So now with these, which these actually do suffer with terrible chain issues, there's a recall being made for some kind of washer or something you put on the tensioner for it, which involves massive strip down. So with these, any kind of timing chain issues, anything, it's full gearbox out, engine out the lot. So be careful if you're buying any Vauxhall, not just the mockers, any Vauxhall with the 1.6 CDTI. They do suffer timing chain issues, but like I've mentioned, in case anybody doesn't really understand what I'm saying, this is your conventional most 90%, 95% of engines, you've got your timing belt here at this side, or your timing chain, which is within the engine at this side. But what they've done is they've put the timing chain here, so it runs down, down where the gearbox is. So to get into anything, it's gearbox out, huge, massive strip down. Just be careful if you're buying a one and it hasn't got, comprehensive history, especially on oil changes, because remember, that's what the chain runs in. So yeah, that's this. I think it's MOT. So luckily it's got new tyres, oil and filter change. Obviously use the correct grade of Dexos 1 oil on them. Really nothing much to speak of with them. Pretty much are what they are. A run-of-the-mill kind of car. That doesn't really interest me, along with these things. Hate them. So this is in, as you'll remember, this is the one that come in with no brake pad, completely missing. And look at the state of the wheel. That's what happens if you leave your brake discs, your pads, to go down to the metal. Well, obviously you've seen what I did a few weeks ago, did that. But when it was in, not only the back brakes were shot, the front ones were as well. So it's in for front discs and pads. I don't know if you can see that in the sun. So yeah, two very uninteresting cars. What I call fake SUVs. Are the type of cars in the winter, they're lifted up, they look like little mini four-wheel drives, and you're sat there spinning the wheels in the snow, and everybody's looking at you going, look at that idiot with a four-wheel drive, and they don't know how to engage it. Well, it's because most of them don't come with four-wheel drive. They're just propped up Vauxhall Astras type of thing, or a Vauxhall, or a Nissan case. I don't even know the equivalent of a small Nissan nowadays. I've lost that much interest in them. What even are they called? What's that car called? The little one. It's like Astra size. They've given it a name, the Pulsar. They've given it such an aggressive name, which Nissan's famous for the Pulsar, and they've put that badge on some rebadged, blown up Renault Clio. So yeah, I'm not going to record much today. It's just like I've said, a case of front discs and pads on this, service on that, but I'm pretty sure people aren't really that interested to see us doing much work. I'll tell you what I will do. When this is on the lift, I'm telling you, these are a very, very, very dangerous thing to be spending money on. The pre-facelift ones, and the reason you know that a pre-facelift is they've got like these more like bubble-eyed lights. The other ones kind of are more sculpted, and on the back ends are very much different as well. These are just the old school lights. These are, I think they go from about an 07 to about a 10 plate, 11 plate. And then the newer shape ones are fine. Well, they're not great, but they're better. But these are horrendous for suspension arms rotting out and the front subframes. So what I will do, I'll probably do a quick video on that of when it's up on the lift. And I'll show you what to look for if you're buying one. But my top advice would be, just don't buy one. But if you have to have one, I'll show you, because these back arms, I think, retail around about £1,000 each from Nissan, and they're two sides, and when one goes, the other one pretty much will. And that's loads of stuff you've got to strip down. I've heard they're a nightmare of a job. So labour-wise, on top of that £1,000, I think you've got to change everything, because you've got to take the shocker off, which obviously will be knackered, the spring, the handbrake shoes fall to bits, so you need a shoe kit. The handbrake cables fall to bits, so you need them. And there's about, I think, 5 other link arms that are attached to this, which I'll show you. And a lot of those have bushes that fall out, so it ends up being write-off money. You wouldn't spend that money on a car worth £2-3 grand. So I'll show you that when that's on the lift, what to look for if you're considering buying one. And the Nissan X-Trails, the newer shape X-Trails, share the same back end as the Qashqais as well, so it's to look out for on those. So quick thing here, I'm not mix this up too much, but as you can see, me Civic, I've done the reveal video of this now. The only real fault I found with the car, like safety wise, was it had a broken front spring, which I did mention, I think, yesterday. As you can see it there, it's an original Honda one, I think, but you can see I just tied it down so it didn't slip out the way, but it's broken the pigtail off. Quite expensive to what I was expecting. About what was it, 65-70 quid for the spring, and the drop link as well. It didn't come off the way I wanted it to. Again, it was whoever I think it's had a new shocker on a lot of years ago, and just whoever's done it hasn't bothered greasing stuff up. So I'm getting a genuine original equipment, Lemforder drop link in a Satch spring original equipment. So that's another load of money. In fact, that's cost almost as much as the condenser. But I'm going to be doing quite a few miles in this car, and that's not usually with Charlie in as well. And I don't have, that's the main reason I've cracked on and done this, is these Civics were one of the first few cars that come with no spare wheel. So I would really hate to happen is the spring to snap another coil, go through my tyre when I've got Charlie in the car. Not only could we be involved in a crash, we'd be stuck at the side of the road with no spare wheel. So I just thought, for my own sake and my family's sake and everything else, I'll just get this spring done. The chances these won't break anymore. They're a very good idea. Again, just why I like them. They've got a massive cup at the bottom, so even though that spring's broke there, it can't really go anywhere. But I just didn't want to run the risk with it. Don't say that on a Ford. A Fiesta, Focus, Mondeo, funny enough. One of my customers just rang us yesterday. He works on a cruise liner. Yeah, I think his car's been parked down in, is it Southampton or somewhere? Can't remember where it is. Right down the country. It's been parked up for a couple of months. He's come to drive away. The spring snapped. This is a Mondeo Mark III. Gone through the tyre, shredded the tyre on some major motorway down there. I think he's had to have it repaired down there. So if you own a Ford and your springs look a bit corroded, or you've got any suspicions, be very, very careful. And Citroens and Peugeots, they quite often do it as well. There's quite a few out there which I reckon should be recalled for that reason. So I'll catch you. We've got the cash car in the lift. Quick show underneath. I'm not really going to show so much before and after on the brakes because you'll see that a million times. But I will do a brief walk around underneath to show you what to look out for. Right, just before I take this cash car up and take the wheels off and show you underneath what I was on about, I just want to show you this. It caught my eye straight away. I do notice a lot of people do that with the roof boxes. They put them to one side. I find this issue on my ML. So it's really difficult when it's in the middle to reach up and get stuff in. So people do usually put them slightly to the left. But I've never seen this before. I mean, it's actually hanging off the side of the car. But even more worryingly is the whole point you put these there is even if they come loose, all it can ever do is just slide from that point or on the other side the same. But these people have put this on this side. But so if it was to slide this way, it's going to come totally detached. But even more worrying is this other one. Look how close that is to there. That is just not even a fingernail of space is holding that onto the car. Now you're doing 70 mile an hour and a gust of wind catches that, the whole thing's going to come off. Would potentially kill somebody. I pointed that out to my dad. I said, you seen that? He said, oh yes, I seen it last time the car was in. I told him about it. Nothing was done. Same way it was driven with brake pads down to the metal. No worries. And these pads are almost down to the metal, or if not down to the metal. And it was booked in. And they've got the dates mixed up and it's been carried on getting used for another 2 weeks with the brakes like that. It's just so worrying, the levels of kind of I don't even know what words to put it, just like kind of clueless people are to sharing roads with other road users. You know, like if that roof box comes off, if your brakes fail, you're not only going to injure or kill yourself, it's some other innocent person either walking on a path or in the car that you hit coming the other way. It's worrying, but I just think none of it's deliberate. It's just I think people are so, I don't know, just zoned out from general safety with vehicles. I don't think they get the concept of the danger. And I'll tell you one way that really does give you the concept of danger, what I've just been talking about with my own car, breaking down on the side of the road. If you stand we were at the Durham Caravan site in April, and I never am near busy dual carriageways and motorways, 3-lane motorways, but I tell you what, a terrifying place to stand is at the side of a motorway when there's vehicles going by 70, 80, 90 mile an hour, trucks thundering by, and that's when you really understand the key elements of safety on vehicles. When you're doing 70 mile an hour in the cocoon of your vehicle with your windows shut, you forget just how volatile that situation is. If something goes wrong at 70 mile an hour with other vehicles all travelling around at 70 plus mile an hour around you, that's when big accidents happen and people get hurt. And it's generally through things like brakes failing, tyres blown out, things flying off your car, i.e. like that roof box. But who am I to comment? These people have a licence and they pay their road tax and everything, and I suppose they've got the same right as anybody else to use the road. But it does make you think twice when you're driving along and you see other cars coming towards you. You just wonder, is something going to fly off? Could it fly off? Will it fly off? Will the brakes fail? These are all the things, really. It does make roads so dangerous to be on these days. But anyways, I'll just take this up and I'll show you what I'm meaning by the underneath and the corrosion. Yeah, so under here, these suffer badly. As you can see, this one's been coated and that. These subframes rot terribly on the front of these. Really bad. We've covered this one, but excuse me. These actually, the covers make them worse. And the diesel ones have the covers, but the petrols don't. The petrols aren't too bad, but these are. But as you can see, this is. I'll secure that a little bit better. But where they do rot is there's a cross member here, which you physically can't see. So even for an MOT, if you can't see it, you can't assess it. Therefore, you can't feel it. But that's the subframe. That's actually not too bad to deal with. It's these arms. When you look at these crumble away to nothing on this area here. And what it is, it's the arm here, goes down there. There's this arm connected to it. It goes up, it's part of the hub. There's another arm up there, there's one further back. There's the spring, the handbrake, the wheel bearing, the shocker. There's all sorts. The handbrake cables are meant to be a nightmare with these. Like I said, they're nearly almost £1,000 each. And when one goes, the other is usually not far behind. So be very, very careful buying a Nissan Qashqai. The first generation ones. Second generation ones aren't too bad, and they eat wishbone arms at the front for fun. They really do. The amount of ball joints and stuff we're doing these, I'm just looking at the brakes here, so discs are getting a bit rough, but they're not too bad. But the pads are almost down to the metal, so they're due to be replaced today. So I'll leave that there for today. That's all out. That's just the mocker and the Qashqai. We'll get the discs done. There'll not be anything really interesting to record on that. And I'll catch you tomorrow on Friday's vlog. Quick video on this A-Class. I totally forgot I had this job to do, actually. It's a bit of a story behind this one. So there we go. It's a A-Class, like I showed you the one the other day with the Renault engine in. Had a cracked light. Mid-March. Now we're almost into July. A week off being in July. And I ordered this lamp in mid-March. £250 it was, because it's all LED. And Mercedes says, we need the full money off you. I said, well, if you haven't got it in stock and you're waiting around and you don't know when it's going to be in, I told them, really, you should just be asking a deposit. 20 quid, 50 quid. No, they need the whole amount. So this lass had to pay the full £250 for the light. And they said, oh, it'll be here mid-April. I thought, well, that's okay then, sort of 3 or 4 weeks. Mid-April come, nothing. Into May, nothing. Oh, tell the customer it's going to be here on this date. I must have told the lass about 3 or 4 different dates that it's meant to be coming into Germany, then the UK, etc., etc. And I got to the point in the end where it was getting past the joke. I was just going to tell the customer they can deal with Mercedes. So anyways, the time went on and on and on, and they eventually turned around and said, oh, it's here now. And I found it hard to believe that they were saying, oh, they're on back order and all this, but how many of these A-classes must be out on the roads? They're a pretty common car now. They're as common as sort of, your Astras and things like that. And I don't believe that there's got to be multiple, like, these vehicles involved in crashes and accidents every single day, whether or not it's somebody accidentally cracking it or involved in a crash. And I said to them, Mrs., are you mean to tell me that, how long would that have been? March, April, May, June, 4 months? I said, are you mean to tell me that there must be an A-class in with a rear end impact in every body shop across the UK? I didn't believe them. What I think's been happening is the stock's been going to the approved Mercedes dealers and approved workshops, and likes of us on trade or public order and stuff have been put to the back of the queue. I don't believe that it should have took that long. So anyways, they said it was coming, and I says, well, will you be sending a goodwill gesture for the customer, not for me? No, sure enough, it just got delivered in a box down there. Not a thank you note, not a thank you, sorry note, nothing like that. Didn't care less. I think that's a really poor way of running a business, is to ask full money off people and just totally mess them around, giving them fake dates which you're giving to customers, and then they're beginning to question if you just took their money and run, kind of thing. So yeah, so anyways, got the light out. That's the old one. Got the new one to fit. It's all LED, just one plug. But one thing I'm hoping with this, when I plug it in, it doesn't need coding in. So fingers crossed, I'll get it fitted and I'll keep the video on pause and I'll show you to see if it works when we've got it in place. So here we go. I haven't done a pre-test, so if this all goes wrong, not good. So there's the old one, there's the new one fitted. Let's see if it works. So obviously we'll have to start it up just to get any codes if there is any. So clutch in, start up, out of gear. So first up we'll put indicator on. Happy days, that's working. Side lights. Turn the indicator off. And that should be working, which it is, those two bits. Fog light. So obviously that's on the right hand side on these, which it is. And I'll get my dad to check on the brake lights. So happy days. That's all working, and that's one thing I'm glad to get off my chest. Every single couple of weeks, I message the last letting I know what's happening. Done my head in. One of them jobs, I've not even made any money doing it. Just pleased it's out the way and finished with. So that's that done with. I just thought I would add that into the weekly vlog. Catch you tomorrow on Friday's vlog. Hello and welcome back to Friday's vlog. I'm going to have to rewind a little bit. Last night we worked late. Something on this Civic happened with the drive shaft. Don't talk about it. I'll put it into the Civic vlog. I don't want to speak about it. Put me in a bad mood. But anyways, we had to work late. So I just want to show you this. We did a Bilingo. I'll carry this outside. It was in for service, so just last night, while we were trying to get that sorted, I just thought I'd get on and get it serviced. So yeah, here it is. Good little vans these. I would actually recommend them. They're a canny little van, I will say. Peugeot partner, Citroen Bilingo. In the last said, just do a service and MOT. Citroen's been doing it. Not going to name no names. I'll just let the cars do the talking from now on. What's written on the number plates. Full service. And, you know, I tell you what, I said, I'll whip the air filter. I've got everything ordered, a fuel filter, air filter, and an oil filter. I do the oil change. So we'll just whip the filter out. She was, it wasn't done long ago. It shouldn't be, 3,000 or 4,000 miles ago. So I whipped the air filter out. There we go. Black as the van is. Original Citroen one. There isn't a date stamp one to prove anything on there. But again, MAN filter. As you see, all of my stuff I use is MAN. And it's a Citroen Peugeot one. So all I did was stuck a new air filter in. Fuel filters are a faff on these. Don't ever touch these unless you've got a vacuum bleeder. Don't rely on this. You will not get it started. Obviously, oil and filter. That's the DV6 engine. There's a little bit of a creak on one of the strut tops, which we're going to look into. Tyre pressure's all done. All the usual stuff we do underneath. Wax oil in the pipes and stuff. So yeah, so nice full service done on this. It'll be running an absolute treat now with that thing out of there. That round. So yeah, so I'm going to get on to now the work that we're doing on the little Yaris, the Verso S they call it. I mentioned to you last week about this. So, like you remember, I think it was about £350 for this thing. It's disgusting. So there's the wheel, that's what it is, just it needs a wheel bearing. So it comes like that, and because it's got the drums on it, if there were discs they would be available, but because they're drums and 5 stud, nowhere can get them. So there's £350 right there. So, as you can see, there's a race on them here, where it goes into the back axle. So what we're currently doing now, we've got the slide hammer on, but it's a two-man job, because once we knock this off, then the drum housing is all going to come loose. So someone's going to have to hold that while we swap them over and put the new one in. But as you can see, the old one, that race that I just showed you, it'll be in the axle. It rusted in heavily. So I'm just going to go around and show you the main issue we're having. We can't get this ABS plug off because it's like inside of that kind of capsule of the axle. So we're going to have to try and knock it off and hope it doesn't damage the plug. But there just is no other way. Simple as that. And until it's all apart, we can't get to it. It just shows you a manufacturer's never any thought goes into anything. If they're built up like that in the factory, happy days. They couldn't give a stuff about us. So I can't record hammering on with this, but as soon as it's apart, I'll try and record it. But we're going to have to be, obviously there'll have to be somebody holding the drum carrier and all the rest of it. So I might come back in and the new one will be in place, or I'll show you when it's semi-dismantled. So I'll get back to you soon. Well, we've got it off with a bit of a fight. I'll just show you what we've got here. I've took the slide hammer off. That's the old one. As you can see, there's the plug on it at the back, which come off no problem when we moved everything forward. So what we're going to do now is get them into place so it's in. So I'm going to pause now, We'll get the bolts in, at least one in, to keep everything in place, and I'll show you what's been done. Right, so there we go. I've just put the fitments in. Obviously, you've got to go through these holes to get them, like that, as you can see. I've tightened them up. When we pulled it all forward and separated it, we managed to get the plug. Bit of a struggle, but that's the way they seem to make it. And obviously to separate the back plate of the drum from this area here, as well as out of the axle, as you can see how badly rusted all that was. So yeah, there's £350 worth right there. So I'm just going to leave that here because I'm expecting a phone call any second, ordering pet food, so that'll cut my phone off. So yeah, that's this done. You've seen what I've done with the van. That's really the end of it. I would add some stuff in with my own car, but I'm going to do that as a separate video. So I'll leave it here for Friday's vlog. I hope you enjoyed this. As I mentioned, I can only put a few little bits in here and there every day. Otherwise, it ends off being far too much of a big video and a file to edit up and get it uploaded in one go. So there we go. So I hope you've all enjoyed it. I'm going to mention again, I went onto the analysis and checked. There's only 20% of my viewers are subscribed. It's 80% are not subscribed. Please, guys, I'd never ask much, as you know. I don't fill the thing full of adverts. The only adverts that are on here are the monetization, which I get a few quid a month for. Lucky if it's enough to flip and put some petrol in the car to do a journey down to a car show or something like that. So please, if you haven't done so, hit the subscribe. If you're not a member of YouTube and you're watching us, never mind for me and my channel, just get an account. It takes 2 minutes. You just put your email address, put a password in, that's it. Once you're part of it, you just hit the subscribe, the little bell button. It'll go from saying subscribe, you just hit it and it says subscribed. That's it. No payment, nothing like that. It doesn't affect anything. You get the odd notification as and when I upload videos, which, as you know, it's not like 2 and 3 every day to irritate like you with messages keep coming up. So if you wouldn't mind, hit that subscribe. And if you've got anything you'd like to say, these are all about, I know sometimes I'm a bit late of getting back, but as you know, I try to run a business. I've got a YouTube channel, I've got a young family while we're camping, so apologies to any of them, especially my regular viewers and who regularly comment. I know the messages are there, I don't ignore them, and as you know, 99% of the time I always do get back to you, even if it's a bit late. So yeah, please leave comments, that's what it's there for, and even most importantly, hit the like button if you enjoy watching it. It's just like that. It doesn't involve anything more than that. Just hit the like, job done. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you next week. Like I mentioned, I've still got my Berwick one to upload. I've got all this stuff on the Honda, the Civic. I've got a load of stuff on the Leon. So I've got plenty of stuff in the background which I'll be uploading as well in my free time. So I'll catch you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.